Nordic regions and Panama and sometimes Singapore. If you start a group like this there, Prophecy by Hand, I recommend you don't. I just 100% recommend you don't. Same with some parts of Luxembourg, Belgium, and Netherlands. Switzerland a little bit. There's a few places I had a heat map at one point. France sometimes. You can do it. Make sure you're very covert about it, or just do it on your own. Talk to people and think in your mind or write it down. Find a way to do it that's covert a little bit, or ask God to help you. Do it right away. That's what most people do who follow God or believe in Christianity or Islam or whatever, and find their archangel or their God person of that faith system to protect them. You turn into Quantum automatically. You don't have to learn the hard way, which means self-taught or taught by someone else, or just work on your own. So if you want to prophecy by hand, make sure you're in a relatively safe region with good enough faithful people, or try to join a faith group and see if they'll be interested in this. It's easier to protect you that way. So if someone is sketched out by this or scared of you doing it, it's really hard to do in certain regions. Like Sweden would be really hard to do. Certain parts of Greenland, a lot of parts of the world that are Nordic facing or Nordic faithful. So you hear them talk about Nordic regions like Iceland and feminism a lot, and a lot of rainbow related topics in terms of the community that revolves around gender fluid and all that will start to bubble up, and you'll realize it's not a safe place to learn how to prophesy by hand. Prophesy by spirit, that's when you do it on your own. It's really hard to do at times. There's some books in the Bible and in the Quran that recommend different ways of doing it by listing the quantum or quantums in different orders. It's really tricky to notice if you're not emotionally intelligent. So often kids pick it up, or babies, or whoever's sentient or consciousness and cognizant enough to pick it up, or adults do who suddenly have like a breakthrough, have an emotional breakthrough in their life, and or follow God suddenly and do the right thing. Prophesy by spirit, prophesy by hand, prophesy by emoji. It's just sort of the same thing written differently over and over again. I just sort of wrote it. There's some new miracles. You can do small miracles there. Yeah, you can start doing stuff. Control sun models at 30. You start shooting at what did I say? 7. I think it's like 4,000 or something. I forget what I wrote, but yeah, it's a high number. Quantum, and quanta. Um, this is how to prophesy by emote. This is a language-based system. So Arten, Ziten, Zuten, and Vaten, Ziten, Zaten, and Orken, Tuten, Vaten, Ziten. It sounds Swiss. It's not. It's Irish, actually. It started in Ireland. Ireland wasn't always as made fun of as they are nowadays by Europeans and higher echelons of society, and especially occult members. Ireland was the only Viking group to fight almost indefinitely. They haven't stopped. They keep fighting back over this stuff because they want to live and enjoy life. They want to live in a weird vacuum, nothing vacuum or hell vacuum or whatever they're calling it. At the bottom is hell, and their whole objective is to bring as many people to hell as they can, and that's been the whole thing. So the whole time. So God's very lenient if you're not giving freely to sin. But he's not very lenient when you're part of the occult and you know what you're doing and why you've done it, and you have freedom to go away from it, or you chose wrong at one point. It's tough though, because it's like a running wheel, and everybody jumps in and wants to be a cog in the wheel. So it's a little bit weird who's evil, or just suddenly decides evils are better than whatever is going on in their personal life. Um, yeah. So this one here, eventually you get to Q20, and a few of them I've done that where you just have to develop them on your own. I've done it that way. So you base it off of prophecy by spirit. Prophecy by hand doesn't list any of the cues, which is fine. You don't really need them there. You'll go prophecy by hand as the practical way of doing it. So you develop your own system. You develop your own way of thinking about it, which is one of the safest ways of doing it. But if you don't live in a safe neighborhood enough and you think there might be occult members nearby, I recommend you prophesy by spirit. Yeah, and that's it. And prophesy by emoji. I'm going to shorten these up and break this up probably into about 5-minute videos or 7-minute videos, so people can watch this in order. I was trying to think if there's anything else I can do before I go into the second part, which is hand signals. So discussing how I do quantum with my hand signals. So I map emotions and other things to my hands. So this is a ball here. Flip to the hand scene system. Oh, there. Okay. Turn to it. Okay. So on this ball here, we have 3 different logos, kind of, or systems, or whatever. I don't know. See what it looks like on the screen here. There we go. To the right, and move back a little bit. Okay. So you have the 2 there. I'm going to go with that one. So